Hey there, Delmarva. Welcome to COASTLIFE. We're always happy to have you. We are your hosts. I'm Paige Marley.
I'm Leah Rizzo, and you may notice that we're both wearing shades of pink today because we got to talk about Barbie.
We have to, because who's not talking about Barbie? Who's not?
Right. I mean, she's got a movie coming up, as we all know. We also know that there's nothing Barbie hasn't done, or if there is, it won't be long until she's done it.
It's on her to-do list.
Barbie's incredible. She's unstoppable. And you were talking about this a little bit earlier, that there's actually a Barbie-themed Airbnb.
You have to look at this. If you're not looking at your screen, I'll give you a second. Okay, are you looking now? Boom. This is an Airbnb. You can stay here, okay? They turned this into a Barbie dream house. You had a Barbie dream house growing up? You didn't?
I actually did not have the Barbie dream house growing up. Did you?
Yes. I had like all 8 editions or whatever there were.
We didn't really have like a huge collection of Barbies growing up because my brother's the oldest, so like we had kind of a mix of more boy toys than girl toys.
No, that's fair. So our Barbie dream
more
house,
Legos. We had a lot of Polly Pockets too, but I think we had like a Barbie RV, which isn't quite the same as the dream house, but it was still pretty cool. Loved the Barbie RV.
Well, no matter who you are, you can stay here, right? You're probably going to pay a little pretty penny. But so apparently this house, this Airbnb, used to just have like pink touches. And then the Barbie movie, you know, I was going to say debuted. It's not out yet, but it came to life. And the whole thing is pink. Would you stay there?
Absolutely, I would.
Easy. Easy, yes. I want to have a birthday party there, a bachelorette trip there.
Yes.
Thanksgiving with my family there.
Like we are staying next COASTLIFE from Barbie Dream House.
Gosh, that would be so cool. Let us know if you would stay here. Even if you're like a guy and you're like, I wouldn't. Yes, you would.
Yes,
you would. Yeah. So don't you have to tell us, actually.
And sort of speaking of Barbie Dream House, there was a story about a guy who, and this is kind of tying into cars, because Barbie had a lot of cute cars in her day as well. I think we did have one of those. We had like a little Barbie, not an actual Barbie Jeep to drive in, but we had like, I think like Kelly had a little Jeep thing that we had.
She did, yeah.
And it would like drive by itself, and you were like, oh, cute. So there was a guy that turned his RAV4 into the Ghostbusters car, which was pretty cool. He did a whole conversion, has the logo, did the whole thing up, which kind of got me thinking about what are some cars from like TV shows, movies, like if you could pimp your ride.
Yeah. So I'm not even saying this because we're wearing pink today. I want Barbie's hot pink convertible.
Yeah.
I love convertibles. The one I had, the toy version, was the color of your jacket. Like that bright hot pink. It was awesome. And I'm pretty sure at one point, they wouldn't do this anymore, because I had a couple of her convertibles. The back seats like turned so you could face the back.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And there's like a pool or jacuzzi in it. I want that.
I remember that.
Yeah, what about you?
That's a sweet ride.
Yeah.
I do think, so for a while there, you know, the market for cars is a little crazy. I almost was going to be driving a Barbie Jeep, just, you know, down Coastal Highway.
Yep, fair.
But I think I would maybe have to go Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo. I
That's
already
a
have
cool
the van.
She always shows me up with how much cooler she is.
It's not.
Dang, that's really cool.
I think that would really seal the deal. Like I said, I got the van. I think you get it in the groovy blue and green.
Yes.
It'd be a sweet ride.
Or Edward Cullen's Volvo.
Oh my God.
If you know, you know.
Super safe ride.
Volvo, baby. Please, Twilight fans, help me out here. Thanks.
But we love talking about what you're talking about, whether it's Barbie movie, Barbie Airbnbs, or just some sweet cartoon rides or other. So, by the way, for you, what would be your movie or TV dream ride? But also on our socials, we want to know, because there are things in life. Everybody, even the most honest person in the world, will tell a little white lie about. So, what is something that everybody lies about?
All right, for myself, because I told this lie earlier. I was like, yeah, I'm just kidding when I say Twilight's not one of the greatest movies ever made. So I'm going to out myself. Also, sorry I missed your call. I was busy. I lie
You
about
watched that
one.
thing ring and
Sometimes, yeah. That's the truth. I'm bad with my phone.
You are bad with your phone, that's true.
That one wasn't the lie, yeah.
I think for me, always agreeing to the terms and conditions, agreeing and saying, yes, I read them. I don't read a single word other than I agree to terms and conditions. So I'm just like, yep, sign my life away.
Who's read them? Tell me if you've read them. we'll give you a quiz.
So what about you? What is something that you would say that maybe you lie about, or that everybody might tell a little white lie about? You can chime in on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are there at COASTLIFE TV because we love hearing from you. Join the conversation on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are there at COASTLIFE TV, and we always want to hear from you.
That's right. And you can email us, team@coastlife.com. We're always checking our emails.
Yes, we are. And as always, we've got a great show planned for you today. We are taking a trip to Bethany Blues Barbecue and their new location in downtown Rehoboth.
Yum. Also, we are talking more about the Barbie movie with a movie expert. What is making this movie so incredible before it's already come into theaters?
Coast Life is brought to you by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, and Shell Brothers.
On Coast Life, you know it. We love our local businesses, our local people, our local athletes.
Yes!
Something we don't talk a lot about on Coast Life is sports, but not today. So that's why we have Ava Krivosh with us today. She's with the Delmarva Sports Network. Ava, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Of course, this is so cool because we don't talk a lot about sports.
Yeah.
On Coast Life, we don't know a lot.
This is true. But I also think for people who may not know about Delmarva Sports Network, it is such a cool thing, and it's so cool for parents, it's so cool for the student athletes. So tell us and our viewers a little bit about Delmarva Sports Network and what it is and what it does.
So Delmarva Sports Network is a live local sports network, 24/7 sports coverage here on the Delmarva Peninsula. So we cover a multitude of different types of sports and events in Delmarva, from high school sports, live games, highlights. We have the final score every night that showcases different games across the peninsula, and even some local athletes. So every weekday we actually shout out a local athlete from elementary school to high school, from soccer, baseball, to even barrel racing. We have our Superstars of Tomorrow, which is sponsored by Vernon Powell. We shout out a local athlete every weekday on our social media and even the final score.
And I've seen those posts, and they're so just heartwarming and inspiring in a lot of ways, because I think it gets kids, excited about sports, into playing sports, and it gives parents a chance to kind of celebrate their upcoming athletes. So how can parents get their kids submitted for the Superstars?
So you can reach out to us on Facebook. Most parents usually either email us or send us their photos on Facebook Messenger, and you just send a quick write-up about your athlete and a few photos of them on their sports team or just what they do in their free time.
Very cool. And Delmarva Sports Network too, of course, covers, like we said, the local athletes who play, I'll call them the traditional sports. Your football, your baseball, but especially when school's not in session, you guys cover a lot of unique sports as well.
Yeah, we cover so many different events during the summer just because we have to pick up when kids aren't in school, and we have a live local game usually during the school season every single day. We have to find different fun events. So recently we did the Berlin bathtub races with you all, which was such a fun event. And then we have Stellar Fights 56 coming up this Saturday, which happened last Saturday, but we are airing it this coming Saturday, July 1st. That will be such a fun event. There were 15 rounds, or 15 fights, and a lot of the fights went all of the rounds. I know that you all went.
Betty was there.
Yeah, I was there, and that was crazy. Yeah, and get this for a teaser. Some people showed their love. I'm going to leave you with that. Watch Delmarva Sports Network. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Catch all the action.
There was a lot of action.
Romance is not dead.
No. Romance and fighting, baby.
Even in the state of MMA, we didn't expect it. We didn't expect it. In addition to MMA, we have a whole bunch of fun events coming up in July and August to close out our summer before the school year starts. So in July, we have 3 weeks of USSSA softball, which we are doing 2 games every day, and then the championship games on the weekends. In addition to softball, we also will be going to Dewey Beach in August to cover the Zap Skimboarding World Championship, which is such a cool event. It's like skateboarding on water. It's nothing like I've ever seen before. And athletes from not even the US, but like Brazil, Mexico, all come to Dewey Beach to represent their countries, which is so cool.
Yeah,
That's a fun event.
It's really
Yeah.
fun. I know I had friends growing up that liked skimboarding. Never for me. I think that would be a great way to injure myself.
Fair.
So I'll leave that one to the pros. But how can people watch Delmarva Sports Network?
So you can watch us on our channel, obviously. That's the easiest way to go about it. But from wherever you go, you can also download the DSN app, which you can access our live stream anywhere you go, and also have a full on-demand library that you can watch any sport or any event that we have covered in the past.
And I have the DSN app. You can get notified too, right? Of upcoming games. Maybe a student, maybe your kid is playing, right? Or you're just your favorite sports team.
Yeah, so we send out notifications of live games that we are covering that same day. And if you just click right on your phone, it'll take you straight to our live stream.
Very
So
cool.
cool.
It's super easy to use.
Yes.
Definitely. Great. Well, thanks for keeping us updated with what's going on in the sports world locally and professionally,
Yes.
and nationally as well. And don't forget to get that app, DSN app. Like I said, it's awesome. Ava, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure.
Of course. All right, well, don't go anywhere. We have a lot more to get to on this episode of Coast Life. We'll be right back.
You're watching Coast Life, and today I am super excited to announce that downtown Rehoboth has something special to add to their list of restaurants. Bethany Blues, also known as Downtown Blues in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Think about the best barbecue in Delmarva. How about Rehoboth Beach? Look no further because Downtown Blues will have your taste buds begging for more. Bethany Blues now has a total of 3 locations: Bethany, Lewis, and now Rehoboth. Jessica Nathan tells us why Rehoboth was the perfect spot for Downtown Blues.
Well, our owners had been looking at Rehoboth for a while, and I think what really pushed us over the edge to say yes was when this particular location became available. The landlords approached Monty and said, "Are you interested in the original Nicola building?" Because they went up the highway. And honestly, it's the first time I did not see him hesitate at all. He said, "We're diving into downtown Rehoboth feet first, so let's do it."
Nestled on 8th and 1st Street in Rehoboth Beach, you'll find the staff of Downtown Blues waiting for you to stop by to give their award-winning barbecue a try.
So we smoke fresh every day, and all of the sauces and all of our rubs, everything are things that our owners have perfected over the years. We've changed a little bit here and there. They did a lot of research when we originally opened the Bethany location, but for sure our barbecue is spot on. Our brisket is what people talk about. We have our St. Louis ribs, which is a special rub that we do here that we think is unique. Baby backs are a bit more traditional, but for sure our barbecue.
While Bethany Blues is best known for their outstanding barbecue, they also have other unique dishes that make them an ultimate fan favorite.
Mac and cheese is a fan favorite. We've done catering for years, and we always end up with a double starch buffet. Mac and cheese and potatoes, please. And I would say honestly, what's been really popular a lot recently is our desserts. Our pastry chef has been knocking it out of the park, and she's doing new things all the time. So it's interesting, over the years, people were so full, and they were like, "Oh, no thank you, no thank you." But now people are saving room because desserts are starting to become a thing at Bethany Blues.
For those looking for a casual fine dining lunch and dinner experience, Downtown Blues is the perfect place for the whole family to enjoy.
In this specific location, our chef Juan is really excited to bring a new southern twist on some items that we don't have in the other two. So you'll find some things. We're having a comfort corner that will be a seasonal thing every day on our special sheet, like shrimp and grits. He's doing an apple brine pork chop, which is really, really delicious. And he's excited about his birria tacos.
And we can't forget the people who love to end the day by winding down with a nice drink.
We're a bourbon bar, and we go down to Kentucky every year and we pick out a bunch of single barrels. We have 3 brand new ones. So any of our cocktails on our menu are going to have our private select bourbons in them. And I would say our bartenders make maybe 100 smoked old fashions a night. It's by far the most popular, and it's delicious.
If that wasn't enough to make your mouth water, after the break, Chef Juan Hernandez is going to show us some of his specialty dishes. There's more Coast Life on the way. Before the break, Jessica told us why Bethany Blues is #1. And right beside me is the man behind the magic, Juan Hernandez. What's up, Juan?
Not much, just, another day.
All right,
Yeah.
so you have these two beautiful dishes in front of me, and I watched you create these so fast. you are amazing at your job.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. Thank you.
So what is this one right here?
So this is our birria tacos. As you saw, the whole process, homemade tortillas every day. Beef pretty much braised and smoked, and we have a little bit of our esquite style cream of corn and our consomme. Just garnished with a little bit of radish and a little cilantro.
So I see this
Yeah.
sauce right here. So do you dip it inside of there?
Yeah. The whole idea is, to grab it and dip it, and just go at it however you want. Yeah.
All right, can I try it?
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. Guys, I'm super excited to try this. I've been smiling the whole time. So, this was delicious. I love all the flavors, all the colors. You definitely did the darn thing right there.
Thank you.
So, what do we have over here, Juan?
So right over here we have our shrimp and grits. It's one of our staples right now. We have some grits that we made early in the morning. We have some shrimp tossed in with chorizo, a little bit of tomato compote, and a little bit of just clam juice, and just finish it off with a little bit of spinach.
Did you create this?
Yes.
Wow. What made you think to put all these flavors together?
These dishes have been made in other restaurants. I've seen them different interpretations, but I wanted to make it for Blues. Our chorizo, we smoked it in-house. Like I said, we took what we have, our pork trimmings and everything that we had, ground every other day, and we smoked it as needed. And the tomato compote, everybody kind of uses a tomato base for shrimp and grits, and I was like, just add a little bit more flavor to it, and taking a dish that everybody kind of does have this interpretation and make it into my interpretation.
And before I try this, how long have you been with Bethany Blues or just cooking in general?
Cooking in general, I was in the kitchen when I was 14. Mama brought me in there, and I haven't left.
All right, well, I'm glad you stuck with it because I'm super, super stoked to try this one right here. That is delicious. I was kind of fearful about all the flavors, but that is perfect, Juan. Thank you so much. So what are the hours that you guys are open?
Our hours of operation are from 11:30 to 10. We will be serving lunch and dinner, and then after 10 we will be serving late night from 10 to 12, and maybe we'll stay open a little longer. We'll see.
All right. Well, you would definitely see me stopping by because this fit my fancy. Thank you so much, Juan, for interviewing with us and getting to show everyone your creative dishes.
Thank you.
There's more Coast Life on the way.
All right, Coast Life, we were talking earlier about how much we are seeing pink. Yes. Everywhere. So that's all because of the Barbie movie, of course. We're going to talk about how the Barbie movie is taking over right now. So, of course, we're bringing in our local movie expert, Rob Rector. Welcome back to the Coast Life.
Thank you for sending me the memo, too, to wear pink. So make sure that
We got our talk show Barbie outfits on.
Exactly.
Yes. You were telling us something interesting, too, about the color Barbie pink.
Yeah, so there was an international incident set off by this movie because apparently the very specific Barbie pink color was used in all the set decorations and the costuming and everything, so it led to an international shortage of whatever specific pink that Barbie was. So I think this is just a knockoff version of it. So this is the Skipper version or something.
Skipper.
So yeah, right.
It's giving Ken.
Hardly Ken. Ken if he went through the wash a few times maybe. So
it looks great, but that's just one example of how this movie has just taken over minds. And if I remember when it first came out, this idea of the Barbie movie, people kind of laughed it off. Oh, maybe it'll be a kids movie. That's not the case, and it hasn't even come out yet. So in your opinion, what makes this movie so amazing already for people?
I think it's the approach that it's taking, because if you saw the trailer for it, the trailer says, if you like Barbie, you'll love this movie. If you hate Barbie, you'll love this movie. So they're reaching out to an entire audience, because as we were talking about earlier, sometimes it's fallen out of favor, especially when you talk about, body image and body positivity and so on, and is it really good for girls and whatnot. And they have kind of embraced that whole controversy and kind of wrapped it up in it. So I think it seems like it, having not seen the film yet myself, but it seems like it's kind of taken a page of like the Brady Bunch movie or the Lego movie or 21 Jump Street, where they're making fun of it, but they're also appreciating it simultaneously. So I think that's it looks like it's going to be a really interesting approach.
And I think Barbie's always kind of had that reputation of like, is she not inspirational for young girls?
Right.
On one hand, she's perfect in every way, from the color coordination to, she's always on point. But on the flip side, there's not a job Barbie hasn't had. She can do anything she puts her mind to.
She's got her doctorate degree. She's been to space. She's and now they have introduced throughout the years, all the different types of dolls for those segments of the population that might be underserved. So, you have all different types to hopefully speak to those girls who don't feel like they are, the perfect frame of a traditional Barbie doll. So, but it looks like, and the director they chose, Greta Gerwig, who is an actress, a writer, and a director. She did Lady Bird, and she did the most recent adaptation of Little Women, both of which were just excellent films. And she's drawn from a lot of inspiration from literature about body positivity to like 40s musicals as well too. So it looks like it's something that's going to be, I know it's cliche, but it feels like there's something for everyone, regardless of what your take on the whole Barbie phenomenon is. That there's going to be something in here that you're going to enjoy.
It's going to be fun. I think one of my favorite details from the previews that have come out is when she steps out of the shoes and her toes are still pointed, because I've always walked on my toes, and so now I have an excuse where people are like, "Oh, did you dance?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, I could be just like Barbie.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
And there's a lot of people who are going to be involved in it. Everyone from, we have Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie, who is just phenomenal, seems to be phenomenal in it, and Kate McKinnon, who plays like kind of the fairy godmother, but like the one that lives like in a troll house or something. John Cena is going to be in it. So Dua Lipa has a part in it too. What's that?
Simu Lee, I believe, is going to be in it. Simu
Yes,
Liu.
exactly. So, they've got it, Will Ferrell, it's a nice eclectic cast, and it just looks like good summer fun that's original, and I think a lot of people are kind of craving that and we'll talk about sequels, but this is something not original per se, but an original take on something that we're all familiar with.
That's a good point. I think it is expected to just kind of be like a light, fun, poking some fun at itself movie that we've all, like you said, been wanting, and an easy watch.
And it's a cultural institution. I mean, there's not anyone who doesn't know who Barbie is, I mean, even if they haven't played with them or what have you, they still know the cultural phenomenon that is Barbie.
That's right.
Absolutely. Now, you said we were talking about sequels and other just movies that are coming out this summer. Talk a little bit more about some of the other summer blockbusters coming our way.
So we've had a few already. In fact, Guardians of the Galaxy right now, Volume 3 is so far the #1 of the summer, and we've had Fast X and Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and I was saying, we were talking before, we're getting ready for like a big pileup of big movies, and they're going to be back to back to back. Starting this weekend coming up, we'll have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and then it has 2 weeks to get its legs before we get into the latest Mission Impossible. Let me get it right. Mission::Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1.
That was impressive.
So grammatically correct. So then we have that coming out, and then not even 2 weeks after that, you're going to have both the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer. And it's going to draw from the same crowd, I'm sure. But I'm kidding. But but both of those are supposed to be really, really big movies, because one's directed by Christopher Nolan, so he's got his big fan base as well too. And those are coming like right at the same time. So I mean, it's going to be like Route 1 on a rainy day in the summer
Oh, yeah.
at the box office. There's going to be back to back to bumper to bumper. So
If you're a girl that had a brother, then you can be a Christopher Nolan girly and a Greta Gerwig girly.
Exactly. I don't see why they couldn't have a Barbie character in Oppenheimer and just lighten the mood a little bit. You know, it's kind of a downer.
I would go see it if they had that.
Absolutely. It needs some splashes of pink, you know.
Amazing. Well, we were talking to earlier about this time of year. Like you said, it is going to be busy at the box office. So I'm going to leave you with that little teaser, because we're going to talk about why this time of year a lot of great movies are coming out. You're not going to want to miss what Rob has to say. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Coast Life, and we are back talking about movies, some of the best coming out this summer. So, of course, we're back with Rob Rector on the Coast Life couch. Now, before we get into the blockbuster, the history, why so many great movies are coming out right now, we have a question for you.
Okay.
Okay, so earlier this week, Leah and I were talking. The Princess Leia dress is up for auction right now. We talked about what movie props we would buy from an auction for $1 million if we had it. What movie props would you want to buy?
So there are two that I'm thinking of just off the dome. The first, and this kind of goes in line with what we were talking about today, but I would have to purchase the bullwhip from the original Raiders of the Lost Ark. I've
That's a
had
good pick.
a million dime store knockoffs that you would end up injuring yourself with or terrorize a cat with. So I would love to have the authentic one that was held by Harrison Ford in there. And then the second one, and I saw it on an auction not too long ago, but it was the face hugger from Alien.
Oh.
That little xenomorph thing with the that went on that to me, just so I could creep my kids out, walk out in the morning or wake them up in the morning with that'd be awesome. So
I knew his answer would be cool in an hour.
Right? I know.
Dang it. That's awesome. All right, well, we were talking, though, about movies coming out right now. I'm curious, because you always seem to hear it. These movies, and they're the most anticipated, and they come out all at once. What's up with that?
Yeah, and they're called blockbuster, and that actually came from the original. So back in 1975, and prior to that, really a little bit, but 1975 was really the birth of what is now called the blockbuster, and that's a little film by an indie director. You might not have heard of him. His name's Steven Spielberg, and the film was Jaws. Jaws was released, and it literally, because it was in these single theater movie houses around the country, they would actually have people who would line up around the block, hence the term blockbuster. So that is what, and Jaws would play in the same theater for like 6 months, a year. I mean, it would play over and over and over again. So then it started to accelerate. A couple of years after that, you had Star Wars, the original Star Wars, New Hope, and they realized that this is the time where kids have off from school, you can do repeat. And as the years progressed, you started to see this summer window kind of widening a little bit. So now March really starts the summer movie season, when they have the big tent pole, as they call them, the tent pole films, and then it goes all the way till September. Really is when they release the ones that they hope they're going to recoup their losses on. So now, whether they've done that yet this summer remains to be seen. I know that the latest Indiana Jones film it's one of the most expensive. Not only is it one of the most expensive Indiana Jones movies, but it's also one of the most expensive movies ever. I think the budget alone was at $300 million, and that's before the marketing budget. So probably everything closer to $400 million,
Buy a couple of Princess Leia dresses with that money.
And it would have to recoup, it's got to give perspective, the last Indiana Jones movie, the Crystal Skull, which came out a few years ago, was $185 million. It went on to make 700 and some odd million, but it's going to have to do a lot to recoup that budget back. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
curious too, and I was just started thinking about this as you're explaining the history of the blockbuster. Obviously, when the pandemic hit and things closed down and they got back open, the movie theaters weren't packed. Do you think that the movies coming out the past couple of years, is this really what's pushing people to get back into theaters? Are you seeing it grow again?
Yes, but also we're seeing some more refined taste, I think. Like something that would, The Flash is a perfect example. The Flash was supposed to be, again, a tentpole film for DC. And controversies aside, put all the other stuff surrounding it aside, it was relatively well received. It was like 65% by Fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So, you know, it was generally just your typical superhero movie. It bombed. I mean, it barely made first place. It's now not even expected to. It had the steepest second week drop of any film, like 70%. So I think people are starting to be a lot more discerning with their taste of what they're going to go out to the theater for, and whether it is a name brand or whether it is unique and something that they haven't seen before remains to be seen. But I think they are returning, but they are also being very particular about what they're going to see.
I can see that. I mean, it's not very often that you get movies that, I mean, I think it is every couple, maybe every decade or so that you get a movie like Jaws, like Star Wars, where it's either sort of the pinnacle of the current technology that's blowing everyone's mind, or the story is so strong. And I'd be curious to see if we ever return to sort of like practical effects.
Well,
and I think that's where like Fury Road was one that I remember blew my mind because
Top
I was
Gun.
like, it looks so real.
Top Gun Maverick. You know, that one I never would have guessed that would have been one of my favorite films of last year, much less the success that it was. But it, you know, it relied a lot on practical effects, and it was just a well-oiled machine, and it did really well. But like you were saying, it was a good story. It was a solid story. It was something we all cared about. There was recognition, but not a ton. That's not something that like screamed it needed a sequel. But still, they came out in droves for it, and it turned out to be the #1 of last year. And he could do it again this year with Mission Impossible. I mean, from what I hear, it's being well received.
How do you think Avatar is going to do? Because they have them planned out. What is it, every 5 years or something?
Yes.
Do you think that should have just been left
4
alone?
more. I don't underestimate. I'll never underestimate James Cameron.
Fair enough.
You know, I mean, I never will, because I thought the second one was really good. It was a serviceable sequel. I just don't know how much longer we can sustain that world and that new technology. I would love to see him start to go in different directions, because he is such a solid action director. You know, we could use him on creating something new as opposed to revisiting Pandora over and over.
That's
again.
where your head's at.
That's a great point. As much as I love that movie.
Yeah.
That's fair. Oh man, well, we could talk to you all day. I have a lot of other questions, but I won't keep you guys. You'll have to come back and answer once Barbie airs too.
I just have to buy more pink.
That's fine.
Okay.
Fair enough. We will too. All right, well, hey, don't forget, let us know if you're going to see the Barbie movie, what you're most excited to see, and any movies you're seeing this weekend. Keep us in the loop.
Yeah, we want to know.
Yeah, we want to go with you. So tell us on our socials. Don't forget, you can follow us all right there, but don't go anywhere for now. We'll be right back. On Coast Life, you know we love showing you adoptable pets, hopefully pets that end up in your home. That is why today we have Lee with Humane Animal Partners. Thanks for being back.
Thank you for having us.
So who do we have here today with us? This little cutie pie.
This little cutie pie is Dakota. She is a 9-month-old all-American mix. She came up from the South, and she's been with us for 2 months. And in fact, if you look at her profile on our website, you'll actually see her puppy pictures from where she was born in a shelter in the South. So her whole short life has been in the shelter, and we're just really hoping that she finds a home very soon. She is loving, she's happy, she's playful, and she would do great with just about any family.
She's been so sweet since she's been in here. When she came into the office first, so sweet, not even a sound from her, just wagging her tail, and I think she is enjoying being out here. Hopefully she finds a family, maybe taking her out a lot. What kind of family would be best for Dakota?
Yeah, she's an active dog, but she doesn't need miles and miles of walks and runs every day, but definitely a playful home because she does have some of that playful puppy energy still. She gets along great with other dogs, so I'm sure she would enjoy a dog brother or sister, maybe even some kids in the family, but a home that will just enjoy her company, give her the cuddles that she wants, but yeah, enjoy time outside with her as well.
She's making it easy for you guys. Kids, dogs, anything. Just bring her in. And if maybe Dakota isn't the one for you, or maybe she is, but you're looking to adopt, you have an adoption event coming up.
We do, yeah. So actually throughout the summer, we are at various local organizations. We partner up and bring adoptable dogs for meet and greets, we like to call them. So this Saturday at the Birminghorn Meadery, they are celebrating their 6th anniversary. So we're going to have our table set up. We're going to have about 4 or 5 different adoptable dogs there for folks to meet and maybe make a connection with. So every other event we have is listed on our website. We'll be promoting it, but this Saturday at Birminghorn, excuse me, is the place where you can find us.
Fantastic. Easy enough. If you don't have plans this weekend, just adopt a new pet, right?
Adopt a new
That's
pet.
what I was
Have a
hoping
good
to do.
drink, food, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm curious too, I know you mentioned that she came from the South. A lot of dogs that we've met have come from the South. Can you talk to us about that partnership and why it's important to you all to bring dogs from other places in the country to get adopted here?
Yeah, we have a great partnership with an organization called St. Hubert's, and they make trips down to the South on a weekly basis and pull from very overcrowded shelters down there. Unfortunately, the rate of humane euthanasia that happens in the South is very high, and so we are pulling as many adoptable dogs as we can to offer them a wonderful life up here. In addition to pulling from those organizations, we also help the community out if they are in need of surrendering their animals for an unfortunate reason. Then we do also have the support through the community as well. But yes, the majority of our animals are coming up from the South because of the abundance of animals in those shelters down there.
Wow, I know you mentioned, unfortunately, a lot of animals in other states getting euthanized, but that doesn't happen in Delaware. We're a no-kill state, but that can mean sometimes, too, our shelters get pretty busy. Can you talk to us about adoption opportunities and fostering? How that works?
Yeah, Delaware is a no-kill state, thank goodness. So we have very full shelters most of the time, if not all of the time, and we rely on our volunteers and fosters to help relieve some of that pressure in the shelters by bringing home a dog for a couple of nights, a weekend. One, it gives us a chance to learn about the dog in a home, gives the dog a break from being in a stressful kennel environment, and also a lot of our fosters end up walking the dogs around their neighborhood, and somebody sees them and they get adopted just by being out in the public. So it's a really wonderful opportunity, and it helps a lot from our organization, and then of course with our ultimate goal of adopting the dogs into forever loving homes.
Definitely. And you know, Lee was telling me too before this, your shelters were pretty full and a couple dogs got adopted and you're bringing more back up from the South. So it's really this never ending thing you're doing for these pets, which is just incredible.
Yeah, it's a constant rotation. We don't want empty kennels, because if there's an empty kennel, that means a dog that needs that kennel, might not have the opportunity to be there. So as soon as we get a couple adoptions out, we will bring some more dogs in and just help save as many lives as we can.
Oh, perfect. Well, if you are interested in saving lives, don't forget you can go to Humane Animal Partners website or go to Birminghorn Meadery this weekend. And hey, inquire about Dakota here. She seriously has been so calm, so sweet this whole time, just enjoying the fresh air.
Yeah, for a 9-month-old dog, I mean, she's got a wonderful personality. Like I said, she's playful, but she can hang out and enjoy a conversation.
Yes.
And, just she wants to be around. So, yeah, she's lovely.
She is. She'd fit well in anyone's home. Well, we are going to show you a lot more pets every week. We're going to be showing you adoptable animals. Don't forget, though, Dakota is available right now. Don't go anywhere. More Coast Life is on the way. All right, well, we had a lot of fun today, like we always do, but I'm going to leave you with a question for Leah.
Okay.
What movie are you most looking forward to see?
Ooh, because there's a lot of good choices.
There are. We talked about movies a lot today.
But I do think I have to go with the Barbie movie. We're dressed for Barbie. I think it is going to be that same thing that we talked about with Rob earlier. It's going to be lighthearted. It's going to be more original feeling, I think, than a lot of other movies that we've seen cropping up. I mean, we talked about a lot of the reboots that have been going on lately. So I think it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be fun.
Definitely. Okay, so I really want to see the new Mission Impossible movie, but for you Mission Impossible Tom Cruise fans out there, can I see it if I haven't seen any of the others? Will I be missing something?
I actually can't answer that for you because I've also never seen any of the Mission Impossible movies.
Okay, that's all right. We'll have a date night.
Yeah.
We'll see Barbie together. We'll see Mission Impossible. Okay, that's covered.
And I don't know why I feel guilty saying that, but I feel like because people that are so into movies, they get so mean when you haven't seen a movie and they're like, oh, you haven't seen every movie ever? And you're like, yeah, sorry.
Wait till you find out I've never seen the Titanic all the way through. That's the reaction I get. I know. God. But I've seen Twilight 15 times.
Titanic's only 3 hours of amazingness. How have you not seen it start to finish?
All right, let us know that on our socials. What movies do we have to see? Blockbusters or movies that have been around for a while? And let us know what you lie about. Because
everybody lies about a little something.
Little things. Don't admit to anything huge.
No, these are the everyday everybody lies.
Yeah, we can't